All right, everybody. Welcome to the Jungle Cincinnati Bengals podcast brought to you by the Riverfront and the Blue Wire. Owen Timmerding, Caroline Palmer, who looks muted, not anymore, are here on the show. Patriots 26, Bengals 20. Joe Flacco era is done, it appears. We got the news that Joe Burrow is coming back for Thanksgiving. We said a little bit about this before we started here that felt like the most normal Bengals loss all year, and that's oddly refreshing in a way.
Yeah, sorry for the mute. I just didn't want my dogs to ruin the intro. They were barking in the background. But yeah, I mean, I just think it was the most I could say like with you like quote unquote normal that the Bengals have looked all year. It obviously is frustrating because they were very much in control of the game for arguably 80% of it. And to be fair, that Patriots team is a very good team. I think
Yeah,
we
they're
went
good.
into last week going, this is going to be tough. And I think they did a good job. And what really surprised me, and I think the reason that this game was so close is because the defense stepped up this week, big
Oh
time.
yeah, yeah. So the Bengals, the MVP of this game was the Cincinnati Bengals defense. Now you look at the score and you're like, they still give up 26 points, but the way they were defending this game was very, very strong. And without them having without the Patriots getting a really terrible pick six that Flacco threw, the Bengals probably win this game. Now you can flip the other side of the coin. Is the only pretty much production the Bengals got on the scoreboard was a pick six of their own. But that again credits our defense that we're complimenting so much. Geno Stone had a pretty solid game. Barrett Carter had 16 or so plus tackles. I mean, I still think he's not very good in coverage. He got burned by a couple of those tight ends. We cannot cover tight ends to save our lives. But at some point, 16 tackles is 16 tackles. That's you got to tip your cap a little bit to him there. I thought Miles Murphy had a great game. The Bengals had two really strong goal line stands, and for
Mm-hmm.
one of them, there was like 8 plays because
Mm-hmm.
the Patriots kept getting some relief from the referees. Like I said, Miles Murphy played pretty solid. Hurts that no Hendrickson was back there because you think you might be able to win that game with him.
Right.
Maybe if you can close a sack. They honestly, in my opinion, it was one of Drake May's worst performances of the year that I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
He looked a little rattled. He threw that pick to Geno Stone in the first quarter. I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm happy with the way the Bengals played because a loss is still a loss. I think we're both just relieved that it wasn't in like such a ridiculous fashion that it feels the previous 10 weeks have gone.
Yeah, it's interesting to me because like Zach Taylor said it too in like post game press conference was
He's
you
still
could
an
see
idiot.
he's still an idiot, but I do agree with one thing he said this week, and he was like, I feel like you could see the fight a little bit more.
Yeah, I
And
don't
I
care
agree with
though.
and
But
I don't again,
yeah,
I'm saying I agree with
I
him
know.
on that particular sentence. But the other thing, one, shout out Miles Murphy. We've now congratulated him first 2 weeks in a row after kind of being a
Hey.
little bit hard on him. Um, but yeah, it's just interesting. And also, you throw out the question of if Jamar Chase was able to play in that game, does it change?
Mhm.
You could also throw that question in. Of course, it's all hypothetical. None of that was going to happen. But I mean, it's a really interesting thing to pick at because I'm like, I don't think anything went super horrendously wrong in this game. And obviously, the season's about to get a little bit of a change. You get Burrow and Chase back in the same game. I'm by no means expecting Joe Burrow to be perfect on Thursday, but it'll be interesting to see because I do think that'll put a little bit more pressure on Baltimore. And it'll be interesting to see
Yeah.
how defensively Baltimore reacts because are they going to sit off a little bit because Burrow, Chase, and Higgins are all going to be out there? Or are they going to
Higgins
say,
isn't
this
playing.
is Burrow's first game back from turf toe. Let's go get him.
Yeah, that's probably
It's
the
really
latter.
weak offensive line, and I
Yeah.
think it'll be the latter, so that makes me a little bit nervous when you look ahead to next week, but I don't really think there was much they could have done this week. I feel like they did everything in their power and just got unlucky at the end. Obviously, it's frustrating to see them lose a close game, but, I mean, again, we thought they were gonna get smacked, and they didn't, so
Yeah.
that's definitely an improvement on at least what we thought was gonna happen in the game.
Yeah, my frustrations in the game really rely on the offensive
Mhm.
side of the ball, and that's a little frustrating because, I mean, it's hard asking Joe Flacco to do more than he's already done. He's a 40-year-old quarterback. He can barely move out there. He's definitely playing injured. Uh, we could not get anything going on offense. Doesn't help that Higgins went out with a concussion. Tosh Brooks went out with a concussion. Yoshivash left the game with an injury. It was nice. Two things I really enjoyed about the offensive side of the ball today was Gesicki's first game back from his long-winded injury.
Mhm.
Couple catches. He looked a little fresh out there. Tinsley had a touchdown. Probably could have, would have, should have had two. It was a bit of a bad throw by Flacco on his potential first one. His second one was pretty nice. Faded the end zone where he kind of dusted Christian Gonzalez, who is viewed as one of the top corners in the league. So, or secondary people in the league. Really, again, there's really not a whole lot of positives to take away from this game. I know we both sound pretty chipper, but I think it's more, like I said earlier, this was just such a normal way to lose, and you really can't get mad about that kind of stuff. The one thing, though, that stands out, I believe in the fourth quarter, there was a third and one, and it was on the Patriots, Bengals 48 or whatever. So they're just about at midfield. And third and one, they pass it on third and one. You just need the run game, which was awesome yesterday.
Yeah.
Pass it on third and one. Then they don't go for it on fourth and one. It was a one-score game at this point. And then they went down the field and scored a touchdown. That was a very loser play, in my opinion, by Zach Taylor. And it's just about, I don't know. That was kind of, you can signal to that as being the losing play of the game, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, you get a different perspective on it because you were actually there yesterday.
Yeah.
Owen was there. The thing that was most interesting to me was just like, I feel as if like momentum didn't get worse, but it didn't get better. It's kind of like this stagnant phase. Obviously, you don't want to see the Bengals lose the rest of the games of the season. Like nobody wants to see that. But I guess the reason why we're not like in our normal what the heck is going on with the Cincinnati Bengals mood is it just felt like you kind of stayed in the same place. Like there
Mm-hmm.
wasn't anything that looked horrendously awful compared to previous games. There wasn't anything that looked terrifically better than what it normally did, other than a few standout people, which if anyone on the defensive side of the ball has a good game, they're going to be a standout. Let's be 100% honest right now. But yeah, I just feel like it's very like what I mean, I'm happier with the result mainly because you feel like in this game they didn't really give up. At the end of the day, you just got beat in crunch time by a better team.
Mm-hmm.
Like if this would have been the 1-9 Jets again, I would have had maybe a little bit of a different reaction, but you were playing the number 1 seed in the AFC. Like you can't be too mad about it at the end of the day that you held them to the toe, like toe to toe for the whole game. Like you
Mm-hmm.
got to walk away with that with some positives. Granted, that's probably the overall best team that they have seen so far this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like I said, being there, the vibe was a bit odd. There's a good crowd,
Yeah.
pretty close to a sellout. A lot of Patriots fans, but that's kind of expected. They travel well. It was a lot of Bengals support was very prominent at the same time. It was cool. I was happy I was there. It was the first game I had been to in a long time, so it was nice being at Paul Brown. Hey, I was there to witness Cincinnati Bengals history
Evan
with
McPherson?
Evan McPherson, who we have
Yeah.
sang his praises all year long.
Heck yeah.
He hit franchise record 63-yard field goal, and it had a little bit of room on it too.
I was gonna say they said it was good from a little bit farther.
Yeah, he striped it. I saw a tweet today talking about Evan McPherson. His 3 missed field goals are the 67-yarder that he missed, a weird 58-yard shank that he had, and a 53-yard one that he left short where the Bengals didn't bring out the kicking ball and he kicked with a normal throwing ball. So he's been awesome.
Yeah.
His
I
2
think
misses are like
under the
ridiculous.
radar as one of the most consistent kickers in the league just because the Bengals aren't winning games.
He's been great.
Which is funny because the one that they say is the most consistent is Brandon Aubrey, and the Cowboys are at 500. So it's not like they're doing much better either, but kicking has evolved in such a different way to me that like they're just getting so much stronger, which is just kind of cool to see, honestly.
Yeah. So this pretty much put a bow on the season, in my opinion. It's kind of done. I think they should be in that mindset to go get a top 10 pick.
Yeah.
Now, the problem with that is They have now activated. They will be activating Joe Burrow off IR.
Yeah.
There's, I don't. You don't. He probably doesn't at the. There's a lot of tough games out there still.
Mhm.
At Baltimore, at Buffalo, at Miami. I mean, they're whatever, but it's all
They're hit or
these
miss.
tough road games. It doesn't get any easier, and you just don't really know, like you said earlier, what you're going to get from Joe Burrow because he hasn't played it in 70 days.
Yeah.
So it's a little unfortunate looking back at all of this that if a couple things go the Bengals' way in October with this Jets game, with the Bears game, and with the second Steelers game, I know it ended up being a blowout, but it was just like it's kind of you're kind of there the whole
Yeah.
time. This is a very different vibe with Burrow coming back if the Bengals are 500 or above. That's a shame that
Mhm.
that's not the case. It's a shame that they couldn't win yesterday, but I do think it's important to give Joe Flacco his flowers.
For sure. I mean, for the situation that he was asked to step into, I think he did his job. I mean, again, it's just an interesting situation because you're asking a 40-year-old guy playing behind one of the worst offensive lines in football, a guy who's known for not being mobile, to throw in under 2 seconds pretty much every time he drops
Yeah.
back. Like, I think and obviously we saw some great games from him, which we expected, but if anyone sat here and went, "Joe Flacco's the long-term solution," I don't really know what you expected. Like, it's kind of one of those things where at the end of the day, he was a backup quarterback. He
Mm-hmm.
did what the backup needed to do. Do I also disagree with the fact that Joe Burrow is playing on Thursday? Absolutely. But I am, again, not the Bengals. I can't make that call. But I also believe it's still early. At this point, I'm questioning, are you trying to play spoiler to the Ravens? Like, that's where my head is going now, because obviously your season's done. The Ravens are on this 5, 6 game winning streak. Are you trying to play spoiler to them right now? And that's what you're trying to do. That's the only thing I can think of
Yeah.
at this point.
I think Taylor's obviously coaching for his job.
Yeah, which is
Like,
why
you
I
can
said that at the
tell.
beginning
Yeah, you
when
can
Burrow was
tell.
coming out.
You can tell. It'd be about right if they won 4 or 5 more games and then finished with 7 wins and did just enough to keep everyone around for one more ride. It's interesting. I don't really know what Joe Burrow we're going to see. My expectations are very low. I think it'll be good that Jamar Chase is back. Like you said, I think the Bengals probably win this game if Jamar Chase plays yesterday. It's a
Mhm.
shame that his actions caused him to move that game. Also, how funny was it that he appealed the suspension?
I was like, I saw that and I was like, "Do you wanna get suspended for more games?" Like, I
Did
was like,
you?
they could have very easily turned around and been like, "You know what? 3-game suspension." Like, they could
Yeah.
have done it. They do it in other sports all the time.
Yeah.
Like, you try to appeal like, for soccer, if you try to appeal red cards and they're like, "You're an idiot," it turns into a 3-game suspension.
Well, I don't know. It's very you just all you're doing is coughing right now during this conversation too.
Yeah, I am. It's muting on and off. I'm sorry, guys.
No, I just think it's funny. Um,
Man.
yeah, so exactly. I mean, Jamar Chase issued an apology today. Apologized to everyone but Jalen Ramsey, which is funny.
It's
He
funny, but at the same time, it's a little immature.
whatever. At this, it's just
It's
yeah.
again, it is funny, but, like, to the sense of professionalism.
Hmm.
But
Also, honestly, one of my bigger takeaways from the game yesterday is why the heck has Tinsley been behind Charlie Jones and Yoshavash all year? Like, what are we doing with that?
it's, like
That's so dumb that
it's
they did
very
that all
dumb.
year. I'm not saying you're not winning a couple extra games with that. Maybe because Yoshavash had all those drops, you do. Like,
Yeah,
but I don't, I don't
yeah.
know. That was weird. One more thing about Flacco too is Flacco pretty much playing the last 3 weeks injured. How bad was Jake Browning? Like, how bad is he that
Seriously,
they'd rather could have played the ghost of Joe Flacco and maybe re-injure Burrow over him?
before him.
Yeah,
At this point, I think they would go try to get someone else
yeah. Well, they
or
just
sign
waived
some
Sean
random dude
Clifford.
off the practice squad.
Yeah, I don't understand it. I
Like,
mean,
he's gone after this year. Well, it'll be interesting to see what they do because Joe Flacco was on a 1-year deal. They're probably not keeping him because he's gonna be dinosaur older than he already is. And they obviously don't want Jake Browning, who was the backup coming into this year. So who do they go get as their backup quarterback next year? Like, do they draft somebody late and just
Yeah,
kind of pray Joe Burrow is on an on year where he doesn't get hurt, 'cause
no.
it seems to be every other year, or do they go and get an experienced veteran quarterback?
Here's a couple of things. I think I'd like them. They probably end up drafting someone. One,
Yeah.
two. There's also probably a world where Flacco comes back, but he's already said that he wants to go start somewhere. I don't know if that's happening. Like that's
Yeah.
definitely not happening.
It's definitely not
And
happening at the Bengals.
yeah, it's not going to happen here. I could see. I mean, again, I don't even know what quarterback would be available in the 5th round or something like that.
No, I
And
don't even know that much about quarterbacks this year to really be able to
yeah,
answer that question for you.
so I don't really know. I can't give you any sort of answer there. But you're right. I think it's an interesting point you just made that this quarterback room has been fairly consistent since 2022, where Browning's been there the whole time since. So
You can even argue that before Joe Burrow, the quarterback room stayed pretty
it
consistent.
was
This is
Brandon
probably the
Allen. Yeah.
Yeah. So you
Mhm.
can argue this is the first time in probably a decade where you're gonna see a shift in the quarterback room where
Mhm.
it's not the same 4 people in the room that it's always been. I mean, it'll be interesting because backup quarterback deals are so much different
Mhm.
than, like, starting quarterback deals, but
Well,
it'll just be
obviously.
interesting to see what they do because I think they could get an interesting backup quarterback because there are a couple out there that do the job that need to be done. So,
Yeah.
and they're
I
more than happy to jump ship whenever they want. So,
exactly. I don't.
I saw the other day that backup quarterback is the best job on planet Earth because you
Well, it
get paid
rocks.
like $2 million to just sit there and not do anything unless
Well,
somebody gets hurt.
have you seen how much these guys make on the practice squad? They,
I don't.
I,
I haven't seen this.
I
I don't
actually think
know.
it's. Let me look. I'm not gonna.
It's probably more expensive now because that salary cap keeps going up. Like it's only going to get even more expensive, and that doesn't even include. I mean, practice squad guys don't get it, but that doesn't even include like the. I saw
Players.
the Progressive commercial last night for
Oh,
backups, and I
that's
saw
funny.
Tyler Huntley on there, and I was like,
Yeah,
I forgot you existed.
he
Like
played this year.
I
This
don't. I have no memory of him playing this year.
Google AI says in 2025, NFL practice squad salaries depended on experience. Players with
Oh,
2 or fewer seasons earn $13,000 per week, while those with more than 2 seasons have a weekly salary between 17,500 and 22,000. The weekly pay for less experienced players is set minimum. Veteran salary can be negotiated up to a certain maximum. Both are
that's
paid
crazy.
both pay tiers are paid for the 18 regular season weeks. Oh, so you're only on the practice squad for like the season.
Yeah, I just
It's
did the math. For the 2 or less, it's $234,000.
Are you serious? For an 18-week season?
For 18-week season, $234,000 if
I
you're on the
mean,
practice squad. Maybe I should pick up a part-time gig or
it's
something.
not a bad gig either. Yeah. But yeah, so this Bengals roster we imagine is going to be a bit different. I think
Yeah.
it's important that we keep doing this thought exercise of thinking about how much time the Bengals kind of got with this group. And I said something to my brother last night. We alluded to it last week. We you probably got 3 more good years with this group.
Maybe
And
even 2.
maybe you owe it to them to give them a fresh coach and a fresh start. If you don't do that this year, then you might as well just punt. Like I'm not even kidding. It's just not going to happen for the next couple of years.
Mm-mm.
It really stinks that they've found a way to waste all this talent.
Yeah, it's just interesting to see because obviously I think Jamar Chase in form is the best receiver in the league. I think he's proven that this year, at least this season. I think he's proven it. He won't win any awards for it because of the Bengals record. But if you just talk about ability to perform and step up when it matters, I think he's been the best this year.
Mhm.
Um, And then Joe Burrow, when you talk about quarterbacks in the league that are the best, it is Allen Lamar, usually Burrow, and then Mahomes. Like it is he is considered to be one of the greats of the last 5 to 10 years. And you could argue that between the injuries and just the way the Bengals have managed the players around him, that they're wasting his potential. And again, if you look back at a lot of his injuries, they were induced because he was scrambling in the pocket because his offensive line got run through like they were being bulldozed.
Yeah.
And like that to me is I'm like, you almost question, do you go after offensive line first? I know the defense in this draft class next year is out the charts, which again, not complaining about. But do you go trade for another offensive lineman because
Sure.
whatever you did last year didn't solve the problem.
No, yeah.
So, like, you have open holes pretty much everywhere except at wide receiver and at quarterback. Everywhere else, you could probably replace someone with.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, that's where, like, what holes do you address first? Which positions are gonna slot for a bigger change? I know we've gone off track here, but I feel like we've talked about everything we need for the coming up this Thursday and
Yeah.
talking about the Patriots game, but it's just an interesting concept to think about as you start getting towards the end of the year because obviously the Bengals aren't making the playoffs, so you've got to guess somebody is starting to think about this stuff.
No, it's interesting. I mean, mock draft seasons, it's fun, and hopefully they get a top 10 pick. I love Caleb Downs in a Bengal jersey. Let's do a fun exercise.
Okay.
So Thanksgiving's Thursday.
Mhm.
Bengals play this week on versus Baltimore. What is one thing you're thankful for about this Bengals season so far, and one thing that you're not thankful for?
Not thankful for Zach Taylor. That'll be my first start because I feel like that's easy. And I'm thankful for oh, I feel like it's a very interesting thing, but I will say I feel like this is so nitpicked, but I feel like I'll say I'm thankful for Joe Flacco. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like he was somebody again, we talked about it earlier. I feel like he was slotted into a situation where they kind of were just like, good luck. And
Mm-hmm.
he brought a spark. I mean, granted, there was not much he could do in the team, but he brought back a spark to a team that had really been struggling. And you can even see that some of it is still kind of lingering around now with the way they played this week. But I just want to say thankful for Joe Flacco because we've gotten a couple wins because he's been at quarterback. And you and I both know Jake Browning wasn't pulling those ones
How,
out.
how many wins do you think Joe Flacco has on the Bengals?
Is it one or two?
It's just one. Doesn't it feel like it could be? It's like four with the
It
way he's
does.
played.
So I believe that he single-handedly kept the Bengals in some games
Yeah,
and has gotten let down by the defense giving up 35 plus points a game.
yeah.
So
It's
you
so
go.
funny. I'm not thankful for my dogs barking.
Fair
I'm
enough.
also,
Mine
I'm
were doing it at the
also,
beginning.
yeah, I'm also not thankful for Shamar Stewart and the entire 2025 Bengals draft class. That is,
See, I avoided that on purpose.
I,
So I'll let you take
they've
it.
just been nothing but a disaster. It's unfortunate that I believe we said in, I don't know, May or whenever the draft is, that this was probably the most important draft or at least me and Seth did at some point, that this was such an important draft for the Burrow group, and they just botched legitimately the entire thing. It's not like they missed on one or two guys. They botched the entire thing. Um I am one thing I am thankful for. Flacco's an easy answer. I'm thankful that the season is ending soon. I'm thankful that guys that we were dogging on in the beginning of the year, like Miles Murphy
Yeah.
and Dax Hill at times, that they've come around a little bit.
Even Geno
Especially
Stone at times.
Geno Stone a little bit. It's and Chase Brown. He's
Mhm.
been great. The Bengals have one of the top rushing attacks over like the last 9 weeks or something.
Mhm.
Or it's so those are some positives you can pull from it. Um and I'm thankful Burrow's coming back on Thursday because I think it'll be good entertainment. And that's all.
I'm thankful, but I'm also scared for him.
It's an entertainment league.
Yes.
He was always gonna play. Once he said he was gonna play on Thanksgiving, they weren't gonna not play him.
Like
It,
unless his like toe rebroke or
yeah.
something.
The So yeah, we're really kind of wrapping up this season now. It's going to be different now around the league. We've decided the Colts might not be good again. The Chiefs and the Bills may or may not make the playoffs.
Yes.
It's
They
like,
both will. They'll find a way.
well, the Chiefs I think really helped themselves yesterday, but
Mhm.
it would have been in trouble if
Yeah.
they had lost that game. It just really stinks because we got so lucky, we got so spoiled for 2 or 3 years with the Bengals being a good team, and
Mhm.
we thought it was going to be kind of a long thing. And
Yeah.
it's this season and last season have been probably two of the most frustrating Bengals years of my fandom, which
Mhm.
is ridiculous.
Yeah, my highlight of the week was watching Jameis Winston receive a passing touchdown and stiff arm a DB in the process.
That's incredible.
He is the most likable person I think ever.
Mhm.
Like I think I reposted 5 Jameis TikToks
That's
before
funny.
the Giants played, and I'm an Eagles fan.
Yeah,
Like, I forget the one was like he started singing Hamilton in the middle of a
he's
press
an
conference
idiot.
interview. Like, he's just I don't know, like, he's just so like, I hope when he retires one day, they have, like I think it was the Super Bowl last year where they just stuck a camera on Jameis for 3 hours. That was incredible. Like, there's just you can't hate him. Like, and he also plays decent football at times. It's just and obviously that Giants team needs and that's another interesting thing to me too. The Giants aren't doing great, but the way all those guys act on that team, you would never guess it. Like,
Mhm.
they all seem to really enjoy each other, and that's kind of something you wanna see in a team that feels like they've been in an eternal rebuild. So, for me, it's, like, kinda cool to see that they still very much enjoy playing football, and I think they can see the light at the end of the tunnel. They've just kind of been dealt the tough end of the stick with injuries on their
Mhm.
team, but definitely Jameis stiff arm was my highlight of the week.
My highlight of the week was getting to see my high school play at the Bengals Stadium on Friday.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool. They played one of their big rivals in the city. 22,000 people were at this game at the Bengals Stadium, so that was really cool. And now they're in the state Final Four, so
Hey,
that's pretty neat.
shout
So
out.
shout out to my old high school.
Yeah.
But it's good. I think we've made the best of a really cruddy season with the Bengals. We've had a lot of talking points, and this
Yeah.
episode's been so funny because there's not been anything like
Yeah, this is the
upset,
first time in a
absurd.
while we haven't had some glaring piece of news to talk about on top of everything that's happening.
But
And we've already addressed the Joe Burrow stuff.
yeah, Thursday will be fun. Hopefully, the
Yeah.
Bengals, if they can pull one out on Thursday, that'd be a fun because then you're off on that Sunday and you can enjoy it, and then you
Yeah.
play Buffalo the next week. So
Yeah, and it's interesting because it's like we said with the Ravens earlier, the Bengals are now in a unique situation, which sometimes teams will be like, "Oh, poor me," and other times they're like, "Okay, we can have fun with this." You're in a position where you can now start ruining some teams' playoff chances or making them worse. With the
mhm.
Ravens, you put them back under 500, you make their lives very difficult in the AFC North. With the Bills in 2 weeks, you give them a loss, you make it very hard for them to win the AFC East again and have to play as an away team in a wild card game.
Yeah.
Like, it's a very interesting time because, yes, you get Joe Burrow back, now you get to play spoiler, and in my experience, obviously, it sucks to be the team that's not winning, but sometimes playing spoiler is just as fun.
I can't believe we designed a sentence that said, "Now that Joe Burrow is back, you can play spoiler again." Like that
Yeah.
shouldn't be the
It
case. That's
shouldn't be the
big.
case, but it is the situation that you're in now. Is you can win games, but it's not gonna mean anything to you.
Ugh.
They're pretty much mathematically eliminated. I think there's, like, a very small percentage
if
chance that they
if they
come
win
back and
Thursday,
make the playoffs.
if they
They'd
win
have to
Thursday,
win out, the Steelers would have to lose out, and I think the Ravens would have to pretty much lose out for
if
them to
they
have any
win
chance.
Thursday, it's back on. The
We'll see
Bengals,
about
hey,
that.
Bengals only win on Thursdays. Their last win was
Apparently.
Thursday night.
Yeah, maybe
So
maybe the streak stays alive, I don't know.
yeah,
We'll see.
that'd be funny. So I don't know what our timing will be on with the episode after Thursday because I'm sure we'll both be busy with Thanksgiving stuff, but we'll figure out.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll carve out some time on Friday afternoon. Who knows? But thanks for tuning into another episode of Welcome to the Jungle. Like I said at the top of the hour, at the top of the ep, Patriots 26, Bengals 20. Have a happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Thankful for the
Yes, happy
listeners. That
Thanksgiving.
was something we forgot to
Yeah.
say. Thanks for tuning
Well,
in.
that's
Thanks for
because that's
listening.
just an obvious one. We're thankful for the
Exactly.
listeners anyway. That's a given.
All right. All right. For Caroline Palmer, my name is Owen Tibberding. Thanks for tuning into this episode. We'll be back next week with the Bengals news and notes. Who day?